reason why you have this bodyguard reaching after me. Monica, could you please answer my questions? This is unacceptable.
The length some people will go to avoid the 8 News Now investigators. That is Kyle Payne trying to get a hold of Henderson City Councilwoman Monica Larson. Now, the city refused multiple requests to make the councilwoman, who is an elected leader paid with your tax money, available for an interview.
And there you just saw personal security blocking reporter Kyle Payne from that city councilwoman. So Kyle, walk us through, how did this actually start?
Well, David, Denise, it started shortly after Monica Larson was sworn in as the Ward 2 City Councilwoman. I wanted to ask Larson questions about her background. Questions apparently nobody asked until after she took office, and questions she goes to great lengths to avoid answering.
Monica, we've been trying to interview you.
Interviewing Henderson City Councilwoman Monica Larson,
Sir, you can't touch me.
was not always this difficult.
Did you like that?
I did.
All right. We were all smiles when we ended our first and only interview together in December after she ran for office and won. Would it surprise you if it got ugly?
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me the slightest bit.
Larson saying she expected to challenge a voting bloc on the council that often showed all but one councilperson, Ward 3's Carrie Cox, voting together.
It has been well known that there's usually the 3 councilmen and the mayor always vote in lockstep.
That was a couple weeks before she was sworn onto the Henderson City Council.
Are you ready to take the oath of office?
There's been a narrative that's been spun that I'm in alignment with another councilwoman.
And immediately distanced herself from Cox only a couple of months.
Thank you, Carrie, you've had your turn. Thank you, Carrie, you've had your turn.
For Larson's relationship with Cox to deteriorate, not only on the dais at city council meetings, but on social media as well. Larson cropping out Cox. This is the actual photo op, and here's how Larson shows it on her Facebook. In June, we asked Larson for an interview about disunity on the council. Larson ignored me. The city told me no twice.
There's been numerous accidents.
Traffic accidents and public safety, 2 of the big issues on which Larson based her campaign. Another topic on which the city and Larson remained silent. Court records showing one of Larson's own constituents tried, albeit unsuccessfully, to get a protective order against her. This Henderson police incident report, which the 8 News Now investigators first discovered earlier this year, says Larson got into an online feud with a man on her neighborhood watch. It apparently got personal. The report says Larson said a, quote, disgruntled man-baby slandered her family, and that Larson went online posting more about the man and his wife, revealing personal information about them.
Monica, it's Kyle from Channel 8. We were trying to catch up with you to have some... Excuse me, sir. I'm trying to ask the councilwoman some questions.
Which brings us to my run-in with Monica Larson and, of all things, her bodyguard, the man dressed in black. When we caught up with her last month to ask questions about her background, yet another topic the city refuses to discuss, and Larson issuing this unhelpful statement, quote, I choose not to address these irrelevant questions brought forth for political gain by others for the purpose of advancing their deceptive agenda and harming others.
Well, I'm a clinical and forensic psychologist by trade.
There's Dr. Monica Larson on the YouTube show Vegas Voice on the campaign trail in 2024. Telling the host,
from the forensic side, I treated sex offenders for the state of California to prevent recidivism and to prevent them from harming someone else.
And again here on another YouTube show called The Pulse.
I am a clinical and forensic psychologist by trade, but I retired. And what that means, because sometimes people aren't quite sure.
But what we aren't quite sure of is whether she's a psychologist at all, though her story stays consistent on her campaign webpage and in these interviews.
I used to treat sex offenders for the state of California.
California confirms that part. She was a volunteer with the state sex offender management program back in 2014 and 15. But it seems she's not and never was a licensed psychologist, despite what she says on her Facebook page, and on another Facebook page, and on her X, and of course, those YouTube videos.
Well, I'm a clinical and forensic psychologist by trade. I am a clinical and forensic psychologist by trade.
The California Department of Consumer Affairs website saying instead she was a psychological associate, which they say is a precursor to being a psychologist. A department spokesman telling the 8 News Now investigators, quote, the California Board of Psychology doesn't have a record of anyone with that name being granted a license to practice as a psychologist in California. And even Larson's own spokeswoman, seen here, saying everything but the words licensed psychologist, telling the 8 News Now investigators in a statement, quote, Larson completed her extensive academic studies and successfully defended her dissertation, earning her title as doctor. That she is retired from psychology, and that my attempt to, quote, invalidate Dr. Larson's academic credentials, slander her name, and stalking her is continued harassment.
We have just a question. We want to know if you have,
But you decide who's doing the harassing.
we want to know if you have a license to practice psychology and why you have this bodyguard reaching after me. Monica, could you please answer my questions? This is unacceptable.
Yet it seemed perfectly acceptable to Larson, who dove into her car here head first to start it and had her muscle hold me off while she made her way to the driver's side. A short walk, but a long way to go for a politician to avoid answering a simple question.
Monica, are you a licensed psychologist in any state? Councilwoman, could you please answer me? Councilwoman?
Have a nice day, Kyle.
On this day, Larson had the one guard, who was more than enough to keep me away. But over the last several months, we noticed Larson accompanied by 1 or 2 men, seen here, like at city council meetings, at luncheons, and even at a grade school. It's another topic the city won't discuss, except to say Henderson isn't paying for anybody's personal security. And Larson won't say why she needs protection to begin with, or who's paying for it.
Sir, who's paying you? Does the campaign pay you, or does Monica pay you personally?
Or why she needs security or anyone to stand in the way of her answering our questions.
Monica, you sure you don't have anything you want to say?
Tomorrow I talk with a licensed psychologist in California and a criminal attorney who defends people like psychologists who get in trouble with licensing boards.
All right, so we have to go back to that tussle there in the parking lot. Is that security guard allowed to touch you like that?
Now, he told me in there he could touch me because I was getting in the councilwoman's personal space, which of course I was. The question I keep asking is, why doesn't she just answer no comment instead of hiding behind a bodyguard?
Right, I guess we will find out that answer as you continue to follow this
Okay.
story. All right, Kyle, thanks for that.